in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, helping you win in any marketplace, going against the often negative mainstream media out there, providing you the timely truths around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, home remodeling, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, we want you to save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372. 813-670-7372. Give us a call or a text on our hotline. And also, you can check out our website, consumerqb.com. consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you at our website. You can see links to all of our expert contributors. You just click on the expert contributors tab and you'll see their contact information, websites, phone numbers. Also, you can submit the contact form, and there's a form that will come directly through to me and our show producer, Anthony. We'll make sure we get back to you before our head hits the pillow. And we're going to help you win in any marketplace. Go around the horn now, make our introductions. We don't care if you're climbing that corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. And Jason Avery, owner of Avery Construction, back in the house. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. Glad to be here.
Awesome.
I believe you got engaged since the last time I've seen you.
That's right, man.
Congratulations.
Sure yeah.
Congratulations. Definitely glad to be back on the show. We're going to talk today a little bit about the shrinking labor pools in the construction world. We're going to talk a little bit about realistic expectations when it comes to budgeting a remodeling project. There's a lot of unrealistic expectations out there. And we'll try and give you guys some good advice on how to avoid the hazards of remodeling.
That's right. Also, he's an author as well, author of Constructing Success. And we'll talk a little bit about that maybe.
Yeah, it's that what I call the customer experience roller coaster. I mean, we put about 85 jobs a year in the ground, so we have a lot of experience in dealing with people and various behavioral styles and what is a very uncomfortable situation. When you're remodeling, you're living at a construction site, it's no fun, and it's exciting at first, but the honeymoon wears off real quick.
Yeah, it sure can. That happens. We'll see it. So we'll talk about that. We'll go through that process. We're expecting Kimberly Marie as well. She's going to be coming in. And also in studio is Ron Fuller. He's a regional account executive, Centralized Showing Services. Welcome in, Ron.
Brandon, it's always great to be here, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir. She finally said yes.
Oh, boy. I'm not going to go down any rabbit trails on that. We're going to talk about technology and also old school service.
Technology and old school service. Yeah, I like that. I know where you're going with that, and that's unfortunately it's still prevalent out there. We're seeing it. So the old school service and the new school service, and a lot of good things happening around the quarterback show, helping you win in any marketplace. And just published author, professional speaker. We'd love for you to check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We're going to teach you how to start your own show. We're actually really excited, partnered up with a major sports celebrity Hall of Famer in one of the major sports out there. We're partnering up with him, taking it nationwide, him and his partner. So real excited about releasing some details on that soon. But we're going to be licensing nationwide some of our business in a box ideas, things we're doing. So real excited about that. Also selling some real estate around here in Tampa Bay, helping you sell real estate. We'd love to talk to you about a open house we have going on, 5208 East Longboat Boulevard in Tampa. 5 bedrooms, 3 1/2 property, 3 1/2 bath property, that is. $846,000 just reduced. And this is a boater's paradise. You bring your boat, you have bay access to Upper Tampa Bay, and we got an open house going on this Saturday, 11 to 2. Come check it out. 5208 East Longboat Boulevard in Tampa. $846,000 and over 4,200 square foot heated, beautiful, magnificent Mediterranean waterfront home. All right, so we are in studio here helping you win. We always start off with a little bit of an audible. We want to help you call that audible in life. Start a little personal development here, talking about our friend Momentum, our big friend Mo, we call him, and sometimes it's known as Momentum. Remember when you're a kid, you're at the playground, and you get on the old merry-go-round, right?
Oh, I love that.
And
thing.
it's loaded down with 8 or 10 of your best friends, and you're just
ride until you puke.
And they say, well, they always got one person. They say, okay, we want you to start it off, right? You got to start it off, Jason. Come on, get out there. So you start pushing in the beginning. It's hard, right? It's taking a lot of effort to get that momentum, to get it going. And as you start going, you start walking a little faster. The merry-go-round starts going a little faster, right? So now all of a sudden you get it up to speed, you jump on, and you're spinning around with all your friends. You're having a lot of fun. Now, where that breaks down, that comes down into business, is that a lot of times when you're starting a new process, you're starting a new venture, you are compiling ideas, you're working hard at something, and you're not seeing the instant results. That's when you got to really stand strong. You got to stay firm in your belief, and you're chasing that prosperity, that success that you're after, and just understand that your friend Momentum is going to get on your side at some point, and it's Newton's first law. It's the law of inertia. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. So that breaks down into your business. That's going to break down into your daily life. So you look at folks that are out there. There's some couch potatoes. They're watching TV, YouTube videos all day. They're falling to that path of least resistance, and that's a habit. They're building up that habit. Achievers are going to build momentum by focusing on self-discipline, which is the ability to make yourself do what you should do, whether you feel like it or not. And too many people let their feelings get in the way. I don't feel like waking up early. I don't feel like staying at the job site a little bit later, getting that job done. And so we want to remind you that once you get your friend Momentum on your side, the sky's the limit. So just get that momentum, keep momentum. And that's another key point, too, in sales as well. Once you have momentum, it's easy to take your eye off the ball, stop doing your origination side, and all of a sudden, now we got a little lull coming.
I love analogies like that, and
yeah.
What I'm seeing for it in my own business is, yes, we went through all that pain as we grew up, and now being a company of 38 people, it's kind of like you got all those kids piled on that wheel turning around, and somebody's dragging their foot on one side, or you put the two heavy kids on one side of it, and it starts to go a little out of balance and get a little warped. That kind of thing can happen, and so the bigger it gets too, trying to keep the momentum is a challenge.
Yeah, it sure can, man. It happens. Ron, you see that kind of stuff happening too?
Oh yeah, we started Centralized Showing Service 20 years ago in Texas. Now we're up to 2 million showings a month.
Wow.
But it has to start somewhere.
2 million showings a month. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, we've just branched into Canada, eh?
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, man.
It is cool. And, yeah, that's a Canada. Cool.
Different, and what's neat with your business is that each different industry or each different market is going to have different customs, and you're going to have to learn those through the different styles, right?
Yeah, one of the things that they have up there is a page. What we would call a text, they call a page.
A text?
Yeah, they consider. I say I'm going to text you up there. They say, give me a page.
Oh, okay.
Page me.
Yeah, I remember having one of those in high school.
Yeah, I had the little funky colored beeper. You were really cool if you had two pagers.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
I can remember on the golf course having what I call the suitcase phone.
Yes,
the cell phone, and it was real. You were bad to the bone if you had one of those.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
The size of a brick.
Yeah. I want to find one of those. I need to find a website. I want to find one of those for some funny marketing videos and whatnot.
The phones that were still attached to the car in the beginning.
Yeah, I had one of those.
I remember my uncle had it where it was set up. He had very successful. They were real estate and health insurance and different businesses, but they had when it first came out in the car, like you were saying, they had it hooked up to the horn. So that way, if you're in the building, the horn would blow. And I'll never forget, he had the big keys because he had these big keys for all his rental properties and whatnot. But he'd come running out, getting the phone, and the keys are flopping around. Don't want to miss that call now. Some money on the other end of that thing. All right, so we're Little Bunny Trail starting off the show here, but helping you win in any marketplace, that's the goal of our show. So as a listener out there, we want to make sure you're engaging with us, and you're, we're going to help you with over 80 show categories now, CPA, financial advisors, all types of different folks, 7 or 8 different types of attorneys now with the show, and it's all aimed to help you win, help you understand things in your criteria in your wheelhouse. So let's talk with Jason Avery here. He's the owner of Avery Construction, remodeling expert here in Tampa Bay, and done hundreds and thousands of jobs, I'm sure. So let's talk about that. You talk about the labor pool shrinking. I mean, I could kind of see that happening.
Yeah, well, when the recession had happened and a lot of the new construction died on the vine, and we lost about 2.2 million jobs at that point in time in the construction industry. And while I don't do the new construction side of it, I do remodeling.
Yep.
At that time, we had a bunch of those guys jumped into the remodeling space with us. And they would, hang around through a few jobs, but couldn't make a full-time living of it, and couldn't really compete with those of us who had been doing full-time remodeling. We had the marketing, we had the brand going, we had the ability to, convince the customer why we were the, best resource for the project. So, we survived through that era, and a lot of those guys went and found jobs in other markets. And now, as the world turns, our millennial, they aren't as interested in the construction. There hasn't been as much emphasis put on it in school and with regards to, the technical skills or the trades. And so with that, I've actually gone out to high schools and done speaking at career fairs and things. They'll have all the different stations, and you've got the sheriff's department station and the hospital station and the, public works. And then I would sit at a trades table and I talk to a bunch of young minds that are trying to figure out what they're going to do with their lives. And, ask 100 kids, you ever considered working in the trades? You'll get just a small pool of them that'll tell you they're interested in being an architect or an interior designer, or, they see themselves working on a computer with some CAD software and making pretty pictures, but that you don't find much interest in the guy who thinks he's going to go out there and swing a hammer.
Right.
And so, with that, the existing labor pool we have, they're aging. These guys are working on their, on their knees and, breaking down their bodies over time. So it's being viewed as a little bit of a crisis all the way across the country when it comes to this. I find that we're pretty fortunate, Avery Construction, that we already have a solid team of 38 in-house people. And with that, we've grown to the point now where we've built a brand, not just with our clientele, but a brand amongst the teams where laborers are spreading the word on our behalf that, wow, this company pays fast, this company pays well, they pay on time. You hear all these horror stories about contractors that they get caught in a jam, they start robbing from Peter to pay Paul. Next thing you know, the employees are waiting for weeks till that next project's complete and another draw comes in just so they can get caught up, just so they can get paid. And that stuff happens every day still out in the industry. So that's one thing that we pride ourselves in is, we are on top of our game. We know our cash flow. We pay weekly and we pay fast and we pay well above average rates. So we're able to hold on to and secure the talent in the industry. They don't want to leave us once they make it to us. And it's getting more and more over time where we don't have to reach out so far looking for them. They're starting to find their way to us because they've heard the rumor of it.
That's important.
And it's, we have that and other strategies, for building the long-term, talent of the team. As you mentioned, I wrote a book called Constructing Success, and it was a bestseller. And with that, it inspired me to open an entirely second company called Constructing Success. And in that business, I'm spending more and more of my time now, coaching, consulting other general contractors, other tradespeople, trying to help them in their business. I'm playing, sheerly off the statistics of the thing that they're only going to make it 20 to 30% of the time in business for themselves. And I will support them as long as they're there. But I'm also planning to be their safety net, for those other 70% of the people who didn't make it on their own and need future employment.
Right.
And I've already been training them, preparing them for what it's like to work under my system and my process. And in addition to that, if I'm going to go shopping for new talent, do I want to shop from the pool of people on Craigslist who are unemployed right now because nobody else wanted them? There's plenty of work out there. Or do I want to shop from a pool of people who were aspiring to be a business owner and they were trying to drive their own business? They had some ambition and those are the kind of people that I want. And if I can show them a better way that they can make the same money working within my organization as they could working on their own, and they can alleviate a whole bunch of stress from their life, actually spend some quality time with their family, that's what I'm looking to create for people.
That's right. Make it a win-win. That's Jason Avery, Avery Construction, a home remodeling expert and author of Constructing Success, a bestseller. We're going to hear more from him. We're going to talk more about the budgeting aspects of that business, as well as Ron Fuller, Centralized Showing Services, Regional Account Executive, coming up as well. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at ConsumerQB.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. We want you to think about this show as the hub of your financial, your business, your health wheel, and each spoke extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners, our expert contributors, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on the air to help you win. Save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372. Save that number in your phone. You can call or text our Consumer Advocate Hotline at 813-670-7372. Any questions, comments, concerns you may have, we would love to hear from you. And giving a big shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. It's the first new hotel built on St. Pete Beach in decades. Spanish ancestry meets cool Mediterranean attitude, whitewashed Mediterranean palace with expansive luxury suites with balconies overlooking the intercoastal waterway. And they have rooftop yoga on the weekends, rooftop yoga. They bring your boat up. It's a boater's paradise. You've got docking there as well. Kayaks on site, bikes, so much to do. Now, make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Give them that REQB code, and you're going to get 10 to 20% off of your room stay at the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. And we're back here in studio helping you win in any marketplace. Jason Avery, owner of Avery Construction, in the house. Kimberly Marie, she's a principal architectural interior designer with Arch Luxe, as well as Ron Fuller, regional account executive, Centralized Showing Services. And let's go ahead and bring Kimberly into the mix here now. So, Jason and Kimberly, you guys can kind of piggyback a little bit about, with what each other's status is and what you guys are doing here. So, with architectural interior designing, you're doing more of the design style. You're looking to kind of coordinate how things are going to lay out, and taking that investor, like a lot of times we talk about the investment real estate, giving them that idea of, hey, here's what we want to have in the end.
Exactly. So when there's a client out there, a consumer out there that's looking at doing a renovation or a new build, then what we would do, we would go in, we would ask a lot of questions, we would take a lot of notes, we would sketch out a few things, doing some concepts, and then try to start figuring out and just morphosing all this into different stages. At the point that we've already flushed all that information out, and we've got a lot of it on paper, we know where each other stands. Then it would be easy for me to bring in Jason and say, okay, this is what they want. It makes his job so much easier. He doesn't have to ask a lot of questions. They've already flushed out all the options, and he's got a good direction to start with. We all do, as separate businesses, I'll do contracts on my end. He'll obviously do contracts on his end because everybody's licensed, bonded, and insured. And both of us being in the industry, we all have our own licensing, we have our own insurances and such. But those of us in the industry, when we, us professionals, we do like working with other professionals. And so let's say I might have somebody that would take, place of maybe the plumbing aspect or an electrical aspect or what have you, or a structural engineer. I could talk to Jason, behind the scenes and say, you know what? Your guy's really good. I like what they do. Or Jason really wants to take that part and then say, this is what needs to happen. And, we just work together.
So, Brandon, what I tend to find is that we get, there's a different caliber to the type of client and the type of budget that they have to, apply towards this remodeling project.
Right.
And so, in some cases, that super high-end client that's going to spend whatever they're going to spend, they're going to get what they want regardless of price. They're going to tend to come in and hire Kimberly ahead of time, get everything put onto a plan. This is exactly what we want. And now that they can take that plan and shop it out with 3 different contractors, hopefully myself included.
I see.
Then you have a type of client on, the lower end, and I don't want to say a low end client because there's a limit to what I get involved with as well. But it's that type of client who has a limited budget, but they've got some big ideas, and they don't necessarily know what they can afford yet. We come in and we do a form of a same day estimate, and that allows them to kind of see the highs and the lows, and instead of the concept of, let me get back to you next week with the bid,
right?
And I try to get too specific too early in the process, and then who knows what you're getting for your money.
Right.
We try and work from the outward in. We try and take here's all the possibilities, and let's balance the budget. If you want this part of it, you can't have that part of it too. We have to give and take to find the happy medium.
Right.
And where I find that I work very well with the Kimberly is sometimes when we go to that first appointment together, and I'm able to go ahead and put the big range into perspective and say, here's all the possibilities. And then where I leave them is, now you can also see all the questions that need to be answered. If I were you, I'd go ahead and hire Kimberly first and allow her to help you sort through this. You already know what my numbers could be. And then once she has the exact plan, we'll come back and price it exactly. But let's ease into it instead of just painting a picture of our wish list, and then when we hear the price, we say, "Uh-oh, I can't afford that," and now she has to start all over again and go back to the drawing board trying to figure out what they're going to cut away.
Right.
And that's never a pleasant conversation with somebody because they've already got their hopes up at that point. So I like to price condition and then work with a designer to go ahead and narrow into, here's what we can afford to do to make it all work out and still get the best bang for the buck, you know?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And a lot of times, you know, a client would have an overall budget, but you do find a lot of clients that they've already done all this and they've already started working towards this goal, and maybe they don't have the budget set in place the way that they should have.
Right.
And so therefore, you know, I'll take a round number and just say, you know, let's say if they're going to do it for 25,000, 50,000, you know, for every 25,000, you know, we'll come up with something, but I leave it very open so that we have a lot of movement, so that so it's not just stuck in the whole line item of you have only X amount of money that you're going to spend on lighting and X amount of money you're spend on cabinets. I let them just move it in, you know, within the budget. But it depends on what Jason might want, because, you know, if he's the one who's doing the construction side of it, you know, it's really important for me to ask Jason and say, you know, is this something that you're comfortable with? Do you like the way this contract is laid out? Is there something that you would like to add? And then I have absolutely no problem with when I'm working with clients and I'm working with other contractors, that I actually, you know, if he spent a lot of time talking with these clients, then I'll write him in to that contract and say, we are using this company and we're going to move forward with them.
Let's talk more about that on the other side of the break. Let's talk about how you structure some of these deals. I want to get into the concept of the budgeting expectations as well. And we're also going to talk with Ron Fuller, Regional Account Executive, Centralized Showing Services, and giving a big shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed by the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. Check them out. You see their yellow cars with the blue branding whipping around town. They do a great job. 4 folks come in and out, do a great job cleaning the property. Shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. And also, when we come back, ex-con skips job interview, jumps off bus, and saves the life of a car crash victim in our feel-good story of the week. And we also have more from our expert contributors. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, and featured in Florida Realtor Magazine again for the third time this week. And this month, actually, July issue of the Florida Realtor Magazine. The cover story was really interesting, talking about the radio show again, some of the cool stuff we're doing here. And we want to give a shout out to our official, one of our restaurant partners, Hula Bay, one of our restaurant partners in South Tampa. Hula Bay is an awesome menu, waterfront dining. They got a great opportunity on the weekends to come out and hear some live music down at Duke's Retired Surfer Bar. And they got a great menu, lots of great sushi as well. The sushi is flown in from Hawaii every couple of days, so it's really fresh. And Hula Bay, the Hula Bay Club on Tyson Avenue in beautiful South Tampa, one of our restaurant partners. Go say hello to Mike and Todd over there. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and they still got that offer going. You know what it is, Jason? Remember that offer? The free water with lemon.
That's right.
Awesome.
Sorry, I caught you up.
Awesome.
They got you hooked up over there. So in studio today, Jason Avery, owner of Avery Construction, Avery Remodeling, author of Constructing Success. It's a best-selling author, as well as Kimberly Marie, principal architectural interior designer with Arch Luxe, and Ron Fuller. He's a regional account executive, Centralized Showing Services. So before we jump back into the remodeling and the budgeting that we're going to talk about, let's go ahead and bring Ron into the conversation. So Ron, I love your service that you guys offer, man. It's so crucial for our real estate industry. So that's pretty cool. 20 years now, 2 million showings that you guys set up through Centralized Showing Services, as well as Canada now. You're in Canada. Yes, so very cool, man.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, technology's growing. Technology's not going anywhere.
Right.
Technology can, especially for realtors, we can give your life back, or at least a part of your life back.
Yeah.
The part that is the annoying calls back and forth setting appointments.
Yes.
And, Brandon, we're becoming a fast-paced generation.
Yes.
We are, remember the days when your car had to warm up? You had to get it warmed up before you drive down the street. Do you remember when your television had to warm up? Remember that? Turn it on, the tube starts to come on, but first the sound would hit, and slowly the picture.
Yep.
So, Kimberly, you probably don't remember that. But.
I'm actually older. I'm older than Brandon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, now we want it now, right?
I know.
We want everything now. And so, we're used to fast pace. One of the great things that our service does is we offer text to approve showings. So an agent can actually call and say, I'd like to show this home. And our call center service says, well, what day? Well, right now I'm in the driveway. It's what we call a drive-up showing. So we actually can shoot out 3 texts immediately. Before we even hang up with that agent, we've set out 3 texts asking for approval. And those 3 parties, it could be mom, dad, and son who still lives at home. Dad gets back to us first, approves the showing. We'll actually send a courtesy text to mom and son saying this phone number has approved a showing. So we can get it out that quickly.
Yeah.
The thing that drives me crazy, Brandon, when someone is considering our service is to say, we want our agents to call the seller. So we're not interested in your service because we want the agent to call the seller. And I understand that their heart is, we want that old-fashioned service. We want to make sure our agents are contacting the seller.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the idea. In order to properly communicate with your seller, which you definitely should do, it should be a planned day and a planned time, and it should not be wrapped around a showing request.
Yeah, reactionary.
Right? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, 6 o'clock on Thursdays, we're going to have a call or a personal visit. We're going to talk about the week. We're going to talk about selling your home. I'm not going to be on the phone with you out of the blue saying, I need to schedule an appointment. And by the way, let's talk about your home. Really, in the buyer's eyes, the seller's eyes, that's not really even call about their home. It's a call about a showing, but then we can talk about how your home sale's going. So my advice is to that broker who says old-fashioned service, we should be talking to our seller. I say exactly, but it should be a planned event. It shouldn't be wrapped around the appointment. Who's more professional? The agent that says, we're going to have a weekly call discussing the selling of your home. But I've also hired a professional service to set the appointment to make sure we never miss a showing. They answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right. Yeah, I love that aspect of it. Ron Fuller, Regional Account Executive, Centralized Showing Services here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And Ron, the other aspect of that's a big one is, you know, we could break this down into different categories, but you have for sale by owners that try to do everything themselves. But then you also have the security side of real estate, you know, by putting that for sale by owner sign out there, or, you know, by going through Centralized Showing Service, you know that person is a real estate agent, is confirmed who's your broker, and they have many of them are registered, right?
Precisely. First of all, you know my pet peeve, trying to sell your home yourself.
Yep.
It's the most expensive investment you have. It would be like saying your appendix need to be taken out. So here's the knife and the scalpel. Here's a mirror. I mean, you know, so yeah, when an agent calls in, we know who they are. We actually have them up on our service doles. If we don't recognize the agent, we actually look them up on the records before we let them into the home. Now, our service can do that. We have hundreds of employees that are 24/7 there to take care of this type of request. But what about that agent out there? Agent gets a call. Somebody on the other end says, I'm John Doe, and I want to show your property.
Mm-hmm.
Are they able to take the time to verify who that agent is?
Right.
We certainly do. And that's and the other thing too, going back to I want my agents to contact the seller every time there's a showing. If you're having heart surgery, the heart surgeon doesn't say, you know, I'm going to clean your bedpan, I'm going to take your blood, I'm going to test your blood.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll be doing the heart surgery. No, I'm a specialist. We have nurses that do that. We have somebody in the lab that'll do your blood work. Well, you should have somebody that's handling the appointments. Your job is to sell that home. Your job isn't to set appointments.
Yep.
For the agents out there. And I really enjoyed the start with Jason. You know, our president is actually putting an emphasis on trade schools.
Yep.
Not everybody needs a 4-year degree, meaning thousands of dollars worth of college debt. There's great dignity in skilled trades.
Yeah.
Plumbers, electricians, carpenters.
Yep.
It's a skill that can lend itself throughout your life. That is probably, hopefully, the wave that our country's going back to. Getting some skilled trades. Not everybody's going to be behind a desk.
Yeah, what I try and express to people too is that while it starts off as the skilled trade, and that's just the beginning of it, I can't tell you how many years it's been since I've swung a hammer.
Right.
And my job is business development. It's team building. It's people management. It's cash flow management. It's, you know, marketing and you know, creating a brand. And that's what I do for a living. And so it's managing financial statements. And so while, you know, we need that basis, you know, to start from that trade, that skilled trade.
Yeah.
Once we've learned it, and it doesn't matter whether you're the plumber or you sell widgets or you sell houses or you know design.
Yep.
It's still a business model, and that's it. It's all about entrepreneurialism.
It's that whole David Gerber with the E-Myth. You know, it's like being in the business versus working on the business. So in the beginning, I think about that when I had my property preservation business. You know, in the beginning, I was out there getting the work done, managing it. Then I moved into the management side, and then so that's the natural progression. That's a good point to make. Is that, you know, that's the ultimate goal, is to get these systems, these processes in place, and to be, you know, kind of an oversight.
Along those lines, through my consulting company, Constructing Success, I'm co-authoring a new workshop we're going to bring to this area called Building an Empire. And the idea of that program is going to be to what we call the growth confidence calculation. And you're the young business owner and working for yourself, making your living. How many people does it take before you replace your own income? You make the same as what you're making now, and you're working on it, not in it.
Right.
And the math is amazing. In most businesses, it's no more than 3 people.
It is.
And,
it really,
literally, with 3 people working, and so, it's that. Is that easy?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go hire the 3 people tomorrow and get them out there producing what you need them to produce? And everybody has to have a focus and a process and management and follow up, but. And is somebody focused on sales? Is somebody focused on production? And is somebody focused on the financials or the process or the system? Right. And if you put those 3 key things into place right away, and you can start working on it today.
Yeah, I love that. I just finished a book, a millionaire real estate agent book, and it was very interesting, very similar, because with real estate it all starts with listings, right? Getting the listings, and then that's going to lead to buyer calls and then getting kind of where Ron was talking about. But the more you systemize your business, the less it's going to be on your shoulders, and you can take a vacation and take some time off and have that aspect. Kimberly?
Oh no, it's also because some of us are hard-headed and we can't let go of the reins,
right?
And we just keep going and going. That's my problem.
I tell people that every day. Get out of your own head. Get out of your own way. You're the only thing holding yourself back. And
That's right.
If you put the chips into play, they will do what they're supposed to do. And you will make the money you're supposed to make. But it's risk versus reward. You have to be willing to take the risks.
That's right. Jason Avery, Avery Construction, Kimberly Marie, Arch Luxe, and Ron Fuller, Centralized Showing Services, here today on a real estate roundtable discussion on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Giving a big shout out to Healthy Gourmet, Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet, meal plan starting at $90 a week, optimal fuel, optimal performance, Healthy Gourmet, all organic veggies, natural proteins, delivered fresh 3 times a week to your home or office. I love it when Monday, Wednesday, Friday roll around. I've got my new order delivered to my home or office, and it's just teasing the taste buds every week. I love it. It's great food. And what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, ex-con skips job interview, jumps off bus, and saves the life of a car crash victim, and our feel-good story of the week, and more from our expert contributors. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show. Giving a big shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa Tampa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or facial at an affordable price but without having to sign up for a membership? Look no further. At Signature Massage and Facial Spa, they offer a 1-hour Swedish massage for $49.95. Always no contracts. Come in early during early bird hours and you'll receive an additional $10 off. And there you'll receive a professional massage for a great price. For all those muscles knots that need a little extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. If skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, and schedule an appointment. Use the coupon code RELAX or REQB. Let them know Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get 10% off your first service. And back here in studio helping you win, hot listing over on Cape Hatteras in Tampa. It's $382,000. Owner is motivated. We just reduced this property, and it's a lovely Mediterranean, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, pool home on a conservation lot, bay access there through the marina. But 10616 Cape Hatteras Drive, beautiful property in Tampa, as well as another South St. Petersburg property just listed at 422 Park Street South, and this is the South the Vista map. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, fabulous home and great location. It's just literally 1 block north of the water. You can see the water from the living room there. $339,000 just reduced, and it's a nice remodel job as well. Beautiful property there. 422 Park Street South in St. Petersburg. And we're back here in studio helping you win in any marketplace. Jason Avery in the house, Avery Construction. Kimberly Marie as well. She's principal architectural interior designer with Arch Luxe. And Ron Fuller, he's a regional account executive with Centralized Showing Services. So let's go ahead and kind of open it up here, panel discussion. So when it comes to real estate, we all recognize it's such a great driver, and more millionaires have been grown through the real estate investing, and there's such a great opportunity to hire a construction company to remodel and make the property just exactly what it would need to be now in 2017. Let's just kind of go around the horn here. Why do you like real estate? What do you like about the industry?
The industry, for me, it's kind of like the little boy with the building blocks.
Yep.
It's look what I've created. And I love walking into something that's dated from the 60s through the 80s, and it reminds me of my childhood walking in. The mom always had that vegetable wallpaper on in the kitchen, and the lime green appliances, so I love coming into that scenario, or those pink or blue bathrooms, and just wiping them out, starting with a fresh template and completely modernizing them, and then seeing the looks on the client's face when it all comes together, and the relief that the project's finally over. And especially when I go back to take pictures and I get to hear some of those testimonials that don't come necessarily from the client themselves, but from their friends and family that have walked in there to see that room that was created.
Right.
In my book, I talk about that customer experience. It's a little bit rough. They're living at a construction site. We've turned their world upside down for, a few weeks to a few months. And so coming off the other end of that, they're not necessarily, over it yet. And it takes a moment to get past that and start feeling the benefits of the reward of, all that hard work and effort that they put in as well, because, definitely the customer plays a part in this.
Big time. That's awesome. Kimberly, how about you? Same question.
I love the opportunity to look inside of their heart and just hearing about their dreams and trying to come up with a way that I can bring something into their lives, whether it be their office, their corporate office, a commercial space, or just the experience alone, and trying to show them things that only us industry professionals would see that are not in the box stores.
Right.
Something that's more cutting edge, something that their friends don't have, something that they haven't seen yet on TV. Those things just, and bringing them, forward, 5-10 years ahead. Also, a bigger one that's going to become probably my most favorite is, working with nonprofits and bringing in, active living type styles and just something that's ADA compliant.
Yeah.
That's going to be very rewarding. I look forward to it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Good for you. Ron.
Well, I always say, Brandon, real estate's tangible. You can touch it. You have to have a home to live in. There are so many gimmicks that have come and gone. Money's vaporized. General Motors was basically bankrupt in 2008. So what is safe to put your money into? Was it Enron? No, that was a disaster. How about technology in 99? Whew, that was a disaster as well.
Yeah.
But real estate is there, and it's there to stay. People have to live somewhere. People have to have a place to go, business or residential. So my passion is use your brain, it's the safest place you can put your money. Go to a junkyard or go to a garage sale. You see somebody's car they had big payments on that's now being crushed. You go into a garage sale, you see electronics and devices that people spent money on that they're hoping to get $1 for. Yeah. But a home or a business, a building, a piece of land that is valuable, it's tangible.
That's right. Tangible asset. You can insure
There's a story.
it. Yeah.
There's, if the walls could talk.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right, here we go. All right, so we got our feel-good story of the week. Every week we bring you something of a good story here outside of the mainstream media here, but we got an ex-con skips job interview, jumps off bus and saves the life of a car crash victim. So it says just 7 days after being released from prison, Aaron Tucker is being hailed as a hero. Last Thursday, 32-year-old from Bridgeport, Connecticut, was on his way to a job interview. While on the city bus, he saw a car hit a tree and flip over. The bus driver quickly hit the brakes and came to a stop. "Are you going to help?" he shouted to the bus driver. "No, but if you get out, I'm going to leave," the driver replied, explaining that he had to stick to his route. Tucker jumped the bus and sprinted toward the total car, which was upside down and spewing smoke. He knelt down in passenger side window and saw the driver covered in blood. He unbuckled the man's seatbelt, dragged him away from the vehicle as it started to catch fire. "You're going to be all right," Tucker repeated as the man laid on the pavement. "Your family wants to see you. Keep your eyes open." Tucker missed his job interview in order to stay with the man until an ambulance arrived. The man was taken to the hospital. I feel like a job can come and go, but a life is something one-time thing, Tucker said. "The job wasn't mine at the time." Or wasn't in his mind at the time. So there's a great story. The guy, is on the bus and he sees a car flip over.
That's crazy. I'll tell you what, if I was the employer and I heard that story, I'd say, "You got a job, mister." It'd be something that probably hadn't heard as an interviewer. "Well, sorry, I missed my interview, but I was saving a life in a car accident."
Save somebody's life on the way. Yeah. Not bad.
I think there's bigger things for him, though. I mean, I think that his time maybe, spending in wherever he was, and he was put at the right place at the right time.
I really like what he said.
Yeah.
I personally have a lot of faith in people and people to do the right thing at the moment when the pressure's on. And with my nature of my work, I spend a lot of time on the road, almost 50,000 miles a year, and I have been one of the first on the scene a couple different times.
Yep.
Once an ambulance actually was responding, got clipped by another car and driven into the rail, and both the driver and the passenger knocked unconscious.
The ambulance got hit?
The actual ambulance drivers were unconscious. I happened to drive by, noticed the bumper laying on the ground, thinking that sure seems strange, and then I stopped to look, and sure enough, but another time where I actually watched a car flip in front of me and actually landed on, somebody got ejected and the car landed on top of them, but 5 other good Samaritans and we all worked together, pushed the car up off the guy, dragged him out of the median, get him out of the road. And so I've seen some crazy stuff like that, and more power to this guy who did the right thing at the right time,
Yeah, it happens. I've seen some stuff like that too. It's those Samaritans like that. Those are the guys, and gals that jump out and they take action. They put their own daily grind behind them, and so this guy's 7 days out of prison does that. That's a great deal. That's
like
awesome.
What Kimberly said. I think you're right. He has bigger things. It's not what you did to be put into prison. It's what you made of yourself. How did prison change you? And instead of him being irritated and blaming society and saying, "I'm just going to go back to what I did," he certainly paid his debt to society.
Here's the final part. Community members who read the local story in the paper decided to help the man and turn his life around. They went to GoFundMe page, raising more than $50,000 in just 3 days.
That's awesome.
Tucker said the money will go towards taking care of his family. I got locked up three weeks before my son's birth was born. Tucker explained, when I was born, I got out of the hospital. I heard my son crying in the background, and right then I was like, I'm changing my life forever. So cool stuff, good stuff. I want to thank Jason Avery Construction, Kimberly Marie, Arch Luxe, and Ron Fuller, Centralized Showing Services. Thanks so much, all of our listeners out there, all of our viewers of our TV show on WeBeam TV. And thank you for tuning in and being a force for good in the community. Please go out there and commit a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up leftover food you may have, carrying it with you to and from your commute to work, handing it to that person that you see in need, and be a force for good out in the community. Go ahead and donate some time or money. And also clothing is in need as well, as the winter months are coming up. So we really appreciate you tuning in to Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out our Facebook page, facebook.com, Brandon Rhymes PA, at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Twitter. And we'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.